Hi, YouTube family. Welcome back to another video. And if you're new and stopping by the channel for the first time, I want to welcome you also. We're gonna just get right into it, y'all, with this DOGE update stuff. It's just happening so fast. I can't even keep up with it. It's just like it makes your head spin. Today I want to talk about how it's probably this whole thing is probably hitting home and close for a lot of folks. Today, one of my coworkers, both of them are federal workers, and they're young. They're a young couple, just bought a home. They don't have any kids or anything yet, and his wife, I believe, she just started, so she is on the that probationary, the 1 year. I think she just started back in the summer, and I think I mentioned this in another video. She might be getting let go, y'all. It's just awful. One of her friends got a notification from her supervisor, and it pretty much read like, if you all have been watching the news like some of the others read. um Basically, her supervisor was telling her to prepare for what's to come. She hadn't gotten an actual letter yet, but they were just telling her if she needs anything on her computer or anything like that, to get things, appraisals, things like that off of her computer, because it could be coming down. I mean, that's just awful. That's just sad. It really is. I hope everything turns out, for her friend and also for her. We can always just say a prayer for them. And I hope everything turns out in their favor. But in the case that it does not, I told my coworker, go ahead and please appeal. Anyone, and this is anyone out there just listening, if you're a federal worker, um, and you have been let go recently, and you feel like you were wrongfully terminated, which you were more than likely, you need to appeal it, folks, because they can't just, even though you're in your probationary period. I've been in the federal government for a long time, and in my years I've never seen anybody let go within their probationary period, unless they've really done something, um like really bad, like fail a drug test or something like that. But if you haven't done anything, and if you don't have any documentation, um on you, stating that what you've done, or you don't have a paper trail stating, or oops, my phone just fell. If you don't have a paper trail stating what you've done, and nothing's been documented, you can fight, y'all, because they can't just fire you because you're within your probationary period. The people that are in probationary period, they do have rights also. So the administration and this whole DOGE department, or whatever they're called, they think that the people that are within the probationary period are an easy target. Um, and they're not. A lot of them are younger workers, not all, but a lot of them are younger, entering to the federal workforce. And so I guess they're counting on, that they don't know their rights and stuff. But I don't know. I don't know what they're looking at. I think they don't really care at this point. So if you do get a notice, or someone that gets a notice like that, tell them to appeal it. It may take a while. I mean, may take weeks, it may take months, it may take a year. I don't know, but I would go ahead and appeal it right away, because I think your window to appeal things like that is very short. So make sure you have all your documentation, that you got, if you had an appraisal or um, a rating. Usually you have to be on board a year to get an appraisal. So I'm not sure if you would have that, but any documentation you have, if you do have that, make a copy. Anything, any paperwork you have on file. We have what we call, in the federal workforce, electronic OPF. So everything's done electronically, and you should have access to that information. So go ahead and go in there and make a copy of everything that you have on file. Everything. It's a shame, but we have to cover ourselves. We have to be prepared, for things like this. Um, Also, I was watching a video earlier when I was on my break, and this gentleman, the same thing. He received one of those termination letters stating, they give the standard verbiage about performance. You didn't meet performance, and blah blah blah, yada yada. It's like a blanket statement, which is not true in most cases. And in his case, it wasn't true, but he had a unique situation because he was a veteran, so he was a prior military person, and I believe he was working for the VA. I'm not sure which agency, but he was federal worker, and he um he had been on, I think, a federal worker for like 3 years, so he had passed his probationary period because it used to be 2 years, y'all, and they recently changed it like 2 or 3 years ago, where it's 1 year you have to serve a probationary period. But irregardless, he was vested. He was what we call a career. He had reached his tenure. He was a career tenure person, so he had served more than 1 year. Okay, so he's way past his probationary period, but he had recently taken a supervisory role. So he was a new supervisor, and so in the federal workforce, for most newly appointed supervisors, you have to be a supervisor. You're in probation for 1 year, and after that 1 year, because you get training and things like that, and after that 1 year, then you're good to go. So he got a letter because he just recently took a new position, a new role as a supervisor. So that doesn't make sense. You've served your 1 year and beyond, but because you took a supervisory role, you're going to get the axe. That doesn't make sense. So it just sounds like they're just going in, whatever program or software they have going, and they're just capturing everybody that's on some type of any probation, and they're just giving that blanket letter and just terminating everybody. So that's crazy. That is just so crazy. So of course he's going to appeal it, and again, it may take a while before he see results, but he should not have been terminated because if they're basing it off of new employees, he should not have been terminated. So he has appeal rights, so he said he was going to go ahead and appeal it. But it's just to show you how crazy this is. I mean, they're just going in, just firing people, terminating people, just all willy-nilly. They're not looking at the data closely. They're just, oh, probation. Oh, and you don't even know what type of probation they're on. Yep, you're gone, you're fired. It's just crazy. So I mean, you have that going on. And I mean, who knows what else? I haven't looked at the news a lot today. I just wanted to, get on here and give you all a quick update on that, about the I call them students, but the newly hired, because everybody's not a student that's newly hired. I mean, we have people of all ages, but they're still after those folks. And then once they grab, I don't know what number they're looking for, once they grab those folks, and they're going to move on to the next category, which is going to be your RIF, which is going to be your people that have been in more than a year. And they have certain criteria that they use for that. Usually is less is last hired, first fired in most cases. um, Not all, but usually that's how they start out. So they just work their way up. They go from, the first, the newly hired, and then from there, when they do the RIF, they go, whatever is called your SCD date. So whatever your SCD date, which is your service computation date, meaning the date that you started civil service, they go by some date in there, and who knows what kind of errors they're going to make. When they go in and start, if they do a RIF the way they're doing the new hires, everybody is gonna get caught up in it, and so many letters are gonna go out, and it's just gonna be a mess. It really is. It's just gonna be a mess because certain people have protection. Like if you're a veteran and you have that preference, that's a protection. There's, if you have disability, like a vet with disabilities, that's another protection. There's all these different layers to it, so you just can't blanketly go in and just start axing people, and like, oh, you've only served a certain amount of days, years rather. People serve less than 5 years, oh, you got to go. But I don't know. I don't know what kind of program. I don't know what they're doing, but a lot of people are going to get caught up in it, and there's going to be a lot of people get notices that shouldn't be getting them based off of what they're doing now with the probationary people. It's just crazy. So anybody can get a letter, anybody can get axed. So whew. Like I said in my other video, make it make sense. It's just no thought put into it, and I guess that's why they hire these. I call them college kids to be on the DOGE committee or whatever they're called, because you know they are computer savvy and they know how to run these programs and they know how to go in and get the data, you know, based off of I guess what Elon Musk is telling them or somebody else. But it's illegal. They shouldn't have access to that information. They're not a part of the. They're not a part of the government or any type of yeah, they're just not part of the government. So they're just civilians off the street, you know, with access to all this sensitive information that they shouldn't have. With government work, there's certain categories, and we get training on this every year. There's certain categories of information that certain people are privy to, and in order to get access to, you know, some of that special classified information, you had to have security clearance. There's levels and there's procedures and processes that have to be done. So what they're doing, the whole thing is just illegal. But nobody's gonna stand up. You know, nobody's gonna say anything. Nobody's gonna, you know, put stand in their way because everybody's afraid they're gonna get fired. So it's crazy. It's just a mess. But I'll leave you all with that. There's more to come. I'm sure I'll be back on here tomorrow with something else until this mess is done. Or maybe one day we'll take a break and we'll talk about, you know, maybe something else. We'll talk about YouTube and um, how we can grow our channel or something. I don't know. We need to take our minds off of this, but I just want to keep you all informed. So that's my main reason, you know, for jumping on here and giving you guys these daily, well, I try to do it daily, these daily updates, just keep you informed. And also, you know, from my federal workers and also from my folks who are not, if you're just regular people in the private sector, you know, we got to be aware. We got to be on our toes with this. Because if I did a video, I think I released it today or yesterday, about Meta and laying off, you know, all these people. I don't know if I mentioned that in the video, but you know, Meta did a layoff and they were targeting people on medical leave, and I think the women that just came back off of maternity leave, and it's just a mess. So yeah, the tech world's getting hit really really hard with this also. So again, if you know anybody there's in, you know, any of those categories, or you think this video might help them, please share the video. And please like and subscribe if you like this type of content. And I will see you guys tomorrow, or if not tomorrow, the next day. And have a good day. Bye.